This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the Bee Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at beepodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to this show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply. Hello. I'm Danielle Nuhfer, an educator for over 20 years who went up against 2 bouts of serious teacher burnout before finally realizing that I needed to share what worked and what didn't with educators everywhere. This is how Teaching Well was born. At Teaching Well, I partner with schools who recognize the non-negotiable importance of fostering a school culture that prioritizes well-being, because when educators and students are well, true teaching and learning can happen. And there's nothing more integral to building this kind of school culture than finding ways to care for yourself in the midst of all the school day hustle and bustle. Building in these moments is what this show is all about, and what I hope to bring to each of you each time I get the opportunity to speak with you here. So with that, let's begin. Today's morning motivation is all about the power of keeping it simple. I never heard too much about simplicity until I desperately realized that all the things in the world weren't making me happy, and I knew a radical change had to take place. And when I looked around my classroom, I could see piles of papers, baskets of things coming in and going out, sometimes in the same baskets. Projects that were near completion were stacked on a shelf. Things that need hung up were on a different pile. Papers that needed filed from the beginning of the school year piled up incessantly behind my desk, and the list goes on and on. When you've been teaching for that many years, each and every cabinet has a mystery hiding inside of it. Luckily, I only had this single classroom to store all my things, because the scattered energy and stuff would have extended as far as the walls would allow. For me, I had a medium-sized classroom full of about 25 desks, with ample counter space to get comfortable with each spot being touched with something. There's nothing focused about how I stored my things. This haphazard way of keeping my room made it feel comfortable to me at times, but to my students, well, probably not so much. At the end of one particular school year, I had one of my classes take all of my extraneous items, all the things that were just squirreled away in the cabinets, drawers, and closets, all the things that I had intended to get to at some point, and help me get them where they needed to be. Back to a supply closet in the book room, to my car to donate, or the rest they happily got to throw into the dumpster or the recycle bin. From then on, I really tried to keep it simple. With the clean slate created externally in my room, I could almost feel a weight lifted from me internally as well. I just felt better. I realized that when I don't have to manage so many piles and things, I am more focused and I have more time to be with my students in a way that is valuable to all of us. So for today, if you're feeling scattered, overwhelmed, or anxious, try focusing on your external environment and move toward keeping it simple. Look at your space with fresh eyes. What is your space trying to tell you? And what can you do right now, today, to simplify some of the clutter? Maybe you just start with one drawer or one shelf or the part of your desk or the classroom that you actually look at the most. Or if you're feeling motivated, get some of those helping hands you have to fast action your way to a cleared out space. So keep this motivation close to your heart today. May you remember that keeping it simple allows more of you, of who you really are, to shine through. And that's what students see and want to connect with anyway. Bells and whistles may get their attention, but you are what's going to keep it. If this morning's motivation resonated with you, I'd love to connect more. You can find all the different ways we can partner together at teachingwell.life. Thanks for listening. In whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at Bee Podcast at bpodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.